Bitcoin and crypto had an awesome week last week. As a matter of fact, it seems pretty darn similar to some weeks it had back in 2019. I think there's some interesting things here on the chart to look at. Maybe perspective we haven't seen before. Let's lock it in. 786 assassins. All right, good to see everybody. Carolina Keith, Professor Keith, regular Keith, whatever you want to call me. Good to see you back. It's March 20th, 2023 on a Monday. Markets have been a little wild the last couple days. But before we get into that, if you would please hit like, hit the notification bell, make a comment, subscribe while you're here. You know what I mean? Why not? The more subscribers and likes we get, the more YouTube helps us out, the more people we can help. Last thing before the charts, if you would please check out our Discord, launchpass.com/786assassins/ half off. That's us. It's $8 a month. That's one venti coffee. Get you in with the smartest people on charts you're going to find. That's how we come up with the information you're about to see. So I'm going to show you this. I don't particularly like this type of technical analysis. It's not perfect. It's a little bit left for interpretation, and that's not something I'm necessarily okay with. That being said, going to show you anyway because I think it's still somewhat prudent. Here we go. I have two screens on there at the moment. I'm going to reduce that down to one screen for a second while we're looking. You see I have Bitcoin index on both sides here. It's the exact same chart. It's just one is from 2019. One is from now currently. I'll give you these timelines, but like I said, first I want to show you one chart before I compare them both. Now we've spoken about the bull market peak being the blue line, the red line being halfway between the bull run peak and halving, that's this red line here, and the midway, not midway, the post midway peak between midway line and halving. We typically get a peak in the summer somewhere. This is the 2019 move for reference. I'm going to drop the camera off for this next part so it's a little easier to see. Good deal. Again, on the left, our chart from 2019. You can see our 100 days before midway is the orange line here, the dotted orange line. Zoom in so you can see that. 100 days before midway. On the right, I have the exact same thing. Right here is the midway line, and that is from the peak of 2021 to what will be the halvening over in 2024. Here you go. This is our next halvening, halfway in between from the bull run peak to halving. Red line in between is midway. Again, that orange line is 100 days. So now, if we zoom in a little closer here on the left side, which is 2019, we can get a comparison of what is on the right side, which is our current. So here's our midline right about January. It was in March over here. So as you see, it's not perfect. But from the midline to the post midway peak was about 165 to 170 days. If I measure the exact same amount of time out over here, that puts us out in June. Okay. And if being perfect, not being perfect, whatever, you can call it June, July, summer of 2023. It's usually the easiest way to think of it. I've got a resistance line drawn up here on Bitcoin that it stopped out at, which was upper resistance. Okay. I've got the same line drawn over here, upper resistance. Could be a little lower, could be a little higher. I just kind of picked the middle to show you a rough area. Again, I kind of expect the number not to be what you see up here of 40,000 where I've got this drawn. I think it may come in a little lower than that. I think 35,000, 35,500, something in that pace could be the place where things get slow up. Now, back to the midway point and the white line, which is post midway peak. Here's our midway point and our post midway peak over here on this side. So what I did was I took a ghost bar feed, which is what this is right here. It's just a chart pattern from the midline to the white line here. And I got this lavender colored dash line. Yeah, lavender. Dashed line here in between the midway point and the post midway peak, right? Midway point, post midway peak. And here's this lavender line on this side. I took a bars pattern from this one to that one, kind of stuck it over here, tried to mimic what I think the trend lines would look like if it stayed something like that, right? As you can see, this one over here did something similar, kind of followed a trend. I'm not thinking it's going to come out perfect. What I'm seeing is there's a similarity. I don't, again, particularly like this kind of stuff. I think there's too much interpretation, and that interpretation turns into a mega opinion. Almost always they go way too bullish. Don't like that kind of stuff. That being said, as you see here, looks like we could get toward 40,000 before running into resistance, which is a nice round number. I've said all along, I'm thinking 35.5 here. And there's a good reason behind that. You know, we have some resistance over here that we're going to run into. I think it could cause a jam up, and that jam up could slow things down, get us to that green box you see there. That also happens to be a similar area where the fib lines lined up with resistance. Same thing kind of happens over here on this side. Fib lines come up with resistance. That's why I have that particular area marked out. So as you see, here till the middle of April might be a little wonky, or the 1st of April might be a little wonky. I think that's okay. It's not the end of the world. We got to wait for it to play out. Give it some time. I think we'll see things continue doing this over and up, over and up, over and up pattern that we've had for a little bit now. I think we're going to continue going up till the summer. That is to be said, there will be some down in here somewhere back and forth. You're not going to get a perfectly straight up chart. When I say it goes up till summer, I mean there will be ups and downs, but more ups than downs until summer. It's called an uptrend. All right, that's it. Didn't want to do too much more than that. Keep it short and sweet. I'm Professor Keith again, Carolina Keith. If you haven't, please check out our Discord, launchpass.com/786assassins/ half off. Come see us. Till then, see you guys on the next one. I have another video coming out tomorrow. We've got live streams on Thursdays, every afternoon on Thursdays at 11 p.m. Make sure I do our live streams at least once a week. We used to do them 3 times, but not anymore. So, thank you. Leave you with this. In the words of the late, great, notorious B.I.G., y'all could have been anywhere in the world. You chose to be here with me. I appreciate that. Sky's the limit. Y'all be good. Peace.